Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Tadowski's Shelter. As the game advances into further seasons of Eden, more and more new features get added in. Today, we are going to talk about one of those added features and break it down so that you can understand what role you should play inside of your guild and how to use the skills appropriately. The new feature we are going to be discussing is the military title choice and the skills that are involved inside of each role. If you want more help and knowledge in the Last Shelter game, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials, breakdowns, explanations, battles, giveaways, and so much more. Join the Discord community in the link below to discuss more topics about Last Shelter, and make sure to drop a comment to let me know what you want to see. Military title of the season is a newer feature that will most likely be seen when brackets start to merge in Eden seasons. If you're unaware, as Eden seasons progress, the game will start to bring more brackets into the fold. This means that the initial 10-state season will expand to include 20 states, then 30 states, and so on. There are so many different reasons why this happens, but the important thing to note is that it does happen. With that said, this means that guilds will start to be based on activity levels and strength. This also means that it is important to break down roles within your guild, and players need to understand what their role is throughout the season. Understand that not everyone can be the strongest, and that is okay. Tiling bases, defending bases, structure attackers, attacking bases, these are all vital to the success of your guild. A tiling base can be just as important as a big attacking base. Attackers cannot do anything worthwhile if you cannot get that base there. Therefore, every player has a very important role, and it should be seen as such. But why am I talking about this? Military title of the season recognizes this and allows players to choose one of three roles. Each role has a different skill that can be activated, which can assist the guild depending on the type of goal. But let's start this whole thing from the beginning. You will see this option on the Eden Season main screen. If you go to the Eden Season tab at the top left, you will see the military title of the season within that menu. If you click on this option, you'll be taken to a whole new screen altogether. This screen has a few different bits of information on it. At the bottom is where you will see all the important information and options that you will need. You will see the three different roles that you can choose from, which are Vanguard, Supporter, and Quartermaster. You will see the current level of the role chosen, and you will see the military title skills access button on the bottom left. You will also see the title growth button on the bottom center. Now, before we go into the skills, let's talk a little bit about the general information here. Each role will have a maximum level of 70, and you will gain XP from doing basic Eden tasks, from tiling, battles, structure battles, upgrading structures, and doing special training. Each level up will grant you one skill point to use on these skills within that given role. You can switch roles at any point, but you will need a skill change card to switch them. If you do decide to switch skills, the current progress in that role will be saved in case you decide to switch it back. For example, if I was a Vanguard initially and made it to level 43, and then I decided to switch to the supporter role, if I ever decided to go back to Vanguard, I will continue that role at level 43. These title levels and skills only last for the current season. So after the season is over and you start the next season, you're going to be starting back at level 1. So now let's break down the three roles in a broad sense so that you can start to understand which role you may want to lean towards before getting into the detailed aspects of each role. The Vanguard role is more for your main attacking bases. The skills and buffs associated with this title will all gear towards strengthening your troops' might, resistance, damage, and hit points. Ideally, this will be the main role for your strongest bases, or the ones that will be doing more of the actual fighting the other guilds. The supporter role is going to be more for your tiling bases. The skills will mainly be there to help speed up the tiling process or to get bases moved up up faster around the map so that map movement can be faster. And the Quartermaster skill will be more for speeding up the guild level and base growth. They will assist with getting more resources for bases, helping provide more durability for other players, and those type of aspects needed for overall support. All three skill trees are fairly similar overall. Each skill tree segment is broken up every 5 levels, so every 5 levels you will gain access to new boosts or skills. The real differences between the roles will be for the activatable skills that can be applied. All three skill trees will provide boosts to troops' might, resistance, HP, and damage. But let's get into each one individually. The Vanguard tree will first provide boosts for might, resistance, HP, and land development in the first 3 to 4 segments. Now, this is going to be similar in both the supporter and quartermaster titles. The differences between the roles will really start to show at level 15 and specific other levels later on. The Vanguard skills at level 15 are going to be flag boosts, which will provide might and resistance buffs in a 5x5 area. This is going to be more useful during actual battles where you will need to break garrisons or attack other players' bases. This is not really going to assist the guild during regular structure battles of a building that is uncontested. Both skills will have a 43,200 second cooldown, or more easily understood, it's a 12-hour cooldown. Now, level 20 is going to give a boost to HP, and this is similar within all three titles. Level 25 of the Vanguard will give your troops a skill boost to their might and resistance for 1,200 seconds, also known as 20 minutes, and will have a 12-hour cooldown. Level 30 will grant a damage boost to troops. Level 35 will grant a boost to will and will consumption. Now, what this means is that you will not suffer as much will damage for targets that are further away. Level 40 grants a rally starting might and resistance boost, and level 45 grants a might and resistance boost to joining a rally. So one is for starting one, and the other one is going to be for joining one. Level 50 increases all might and resistance. Level 55 grants boosts to HP and damage, and level 60 grants more might and resistance boosts to troops. The last level, level 70, is going to grant a marching speed bonus. As you can see, all the boosts and skills here are strictly for doing battle. This is the main goal for the Vanguard title, and it sticks true to its word. This is not a very complex title to understand, but it is important to note that some of these skills need to actually be activated before they apply. It's important that you don't forget to activate special boosts that you have, because they are everywhere in this game and give you no assistance unless you actually activate them. So to use a skill, you can click the skill activation button on the bottom left of the title selection main menu and choose where to place it, but you can also activate the skill with the skill activation button on the map screen when you select the tile you wish to place it on. The button should be on the far left and will allow you quick access to use a skill without going through the long process of going through 3 different screens. Moving on to the supporter title. The supporter title grants a lot of the same privileges and boosts that the Vanguard does in most of the levels. Levels 1, 5, and 10 are going to be the same for all 3, as I've already stated, but supporter starts to change at level 15 with 2 activatable skills that can be extremely useful. The first is a tile abandonment speed up. This will take minutes off the abandonment of tiles. The other activatable skill is a teleport pad speed up for another member. Now, both have a 12-hour cooldown, but will speed up another member's pad building. Why would you want to speed up another member's pad building? Well, this could be very useful when you need your big bases or your tiling bases to move around the map in different areas, and time is of the essence. Level 20 will give you a boost to the troop HP. Level 25 allows you to set fire to a tile or to remove fire from a tile. Now, what does this mean? Well, what this means is that you can damage and weaken your opponent's garrisons for a set amount of time by setting fire to their tile. By setting fire to a tile, you will start to cause damage to the garrison troops on it, making it easier to defeat them with your other bases. On the same token, your opponent's supporters can also set fire to your guild's garrison tiles as well. Only the supporter role can extinguish the fire to prevent weakening garrisons and allowing your opponent to run them over. It is important for supporters to pay attention to these skills and use them as necessary. Now, level 30 boosts troop damage, while level 35 allows a guild member or another member an immunity center healing increase, which will allow them to heal their troops faster. The other level 35 skill boosts the member's destruction power, which is the number that actually gets applied to the structure or tile's durability. Level 40 will allow you to gain 15 regenerative serums, while the other skill at level 40 will allow you to give another player some of your serums to help them heal troops faster. Level 45 grants you a boost in might and resistance when in a rally. Level 50, 55, and 60 all grant you boosts to troops' might, resistance, HP, and damage, and level 70 will grant you a marching speed bonus just like Vanguard does. Moving on to the Quartermaster tree, it has all of the same buffs as the other trees for levels 1, 5, 10, 20, 30, and 45 through 70. I know that's a lot of different numbers, but to save time, let's just discuss the skills that are different. At level 25, you will be able to give your guild a boost to experience when resources are donated to the level of guild. Normally, you only get a set amount of experience depending on how much you donate, but this skill will boost that amount by a specific percentage. The other skill in this level will grant you a one-time set amount of fossil fuel and lumber that can be processed into usable resources, and this skill will have a cooldown. Level 35 has a territory production boost, which will increase the resources you will get from your tiles for a set amount of time, and the other skill will allow you to give you and another guild member a boost to the resources gained for a set amount of time. The amount that is gained will depend on how much the caster actually makes and will give you both the same amount of extra resources. Level 40 will allow you access to two skills involving APC durability in Eden. The first will grant you the battery exchange cards that can be used to get extra batteries that can replenish APC durability. The other skill at this level will allow you to give another member a certain amount of these cards that you own, allowing the other member to use them to replenish their spent durability. And as stated, the rest of the skills are the same as the other trees. Overall, you can see the differences between the titles. Now, some of you may be thinking, why would I want to give useful resources to another member? And I implore you to remember that this is a team event, and it is important to realize that certain players will need to fill certain roles. If your main attack bases are not strong enough to hold back the enemy because they lack troops or durability, the entire front line can fail. If your main structure attackers are out of durability and you need to get that last 100,000 durability gone, give them those cards so that a member can replenish their durability and do more damage per hit than you can. Remember, it's more important for your guild to succeed than it is for one player to do better than another. Having an individualist mentality or a state mentality or an alliance mentality is going to be a huge hindrance during Seasons of Eden. It is important to realize that Eden is not a time for one player to show off or to prove that this state is better than another or that this alliance is stronger than the other alliance. It is a time to move past the borders and work together as a new team to achieve a win for your faction. Limiting yourself to your alliance, state, or yourself can be the ruin of your guild, or worse, your faction. Now, I hope this helps explain the titles and the difference between them. If you have any questions on the topic, feel free to leave them in the comments below. But the real question I want to have answered is, what is your title and role in your guild? If you have had this feature for a while, was it hard to accept the roles that you eventually fell into? I know it's hard for some players to accept that they cannot do certain things, and it starts to cause cause issues in the guild, so let me know what your role is and how you feel about it. Remember to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more Last Shelter content. Every like and subscribe will prevent me from starving a battle orphan. I'm not even sure what that means, but we're just gonna go with it. So everyone, remember, share the information, help each other out, but most importantly, stay safe out there.